Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? I'm probably not in the shot. Sorry, trying to make it so that you could see here and see me. Hello. So, we've got another quilt we're working on from the magic of the 3-yard quilts. And the one we're working on is Enchanting, which is this one right here. And let's see if I could get you, here it is. Here are the directions, excuse me. And so in this book, we are, let's put it this way. For fabric 1, I am using crumbs. And yes, it's gonna be busy when you see it, but it's okay. You know what? My Grammy made these strings, not these strings, these crumb blocks, and I just want to use them up in fast, easy patterns. And so I went ahead and I have a crumb block here. So that is fabric 1. In fabric 1, it also has you do HSTs, and I just used a blue. So I just picked the size right. It tells me right here, I picked the size right out of my scrap filing system, and I went with all kinds of scrappy blue squares. Fabric 2 is this gray fabric here, and then fabric 3 is this black fabric. So what you're going to do is, the first step of this is that you are going to make half square triangles. I have done so many tutorials. Every time I do this, I show you a quick way of doing a half square triangle. So this time I'm not going to show you. You're going to take the measurements that are in the book. You're going to draw a line on the background square. You're going to sew on both sides. You're going to cut on the solid line with your rotary cutter. You're going to trim to size, and you're going to have these. And you're going to have 2 sets. You're going to have a light, so a light and a focal fabric, which are my crumbs, and then a dark and a dark and a focal fabric, right? The focal fabric happens to be blue in this case. We're going to do those, and we're going to put them all aside. Then we're going to make a strip set, and I've shown you that too. And then we're going to cut the strip set to size in the book. And that's it. So now I have all my pieces. So right here, let's build this out. We are going to grab my design board, and we're going to build this out. So I'm going to put, it would be helpful if I did it this way. We will put our center focal fabric. It doesn't have to be crumbs. The book uses regular yardage. I am just using some stuff up. And we are going to, hold on. See, they have diagrams, which is great because I need to make sure I'm doing this right. So on the top, it is going to be like this. So you see the black and then the other one. And then we are going to do the opposite. And those are going to go on the top and bottom. We double check. Yes. Then we're going to make these units. And these units are one of the pieces of the strip set and one of our half square triangles. I already put the black and the blue on the one side. So now I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to put these. And again, you want to look at the diagram, and it would look like this. So you look at the diagram, you place your long one, and you want your corners out, right? Your corners out and this matching. So it's up to you. You can throw a pin if you want in it. You don't have to. You could just sew it. That's totally up to you. I am no way. Here we go. I'm just looking again. Fine. So I showed you one way where I pinned. I'll show you the other way where I don't pin. It's really of preference. Just come on in here. I have set my baby lock to 1/4 inch. I'm going to put her down. I am sewing with an aria, just in case if you were wondering. And now here is my other one. Because my pin is really out of the way, I don't even have to pull it out because it's nowhere near my needle. If it was, I would. Pull that out right now. And here we go. Now, I have made this multiple times. And when I've made this multiple times, I found that opening up your seams really helps with this because it does get a little bunched up and a little bit heavy, even if you do pressing to the dark side. So that's a little tip I just want to give you that I do find opening up your seams is helpful. I'm sorry, I just came off. I just wanted to iron these really quick and I didn't set up my station right here. So here we go. I, on this one, did not open my seams, and that is how I figured out, for pressing reasons, that it is best to open up your seams. So now we're just going to basically match the light to the dark and the dark to the light. Again, always important to double check. Sometimes we get ourselves spun around, and I look at it. I'm like, yep, that's good. So now we can go ahead and sew this all together. What I do is I take, excuse me, my center block, and I will, for purposes for me, I find it's the easiest to kind of throw a pin here. And not because this is the pin. I'm not even setting it. It's just so that I could take it off here, and then I pull the pin off. You don't have to, you can pin nicely, you know, line everything up and pin nicely. I just don't. I just pinned it so I knew that's where I need to sew. I will say, when I said to open up your seams, there's one seam you do not actually have to open up, and it's actually beneficial that you don't. You just need to press to the dark side, and that's your strip assembly. So the light and dark strip assembly, just press it to the dark. It actually will help you when you're putting this together, because then it will lock in your seams. And you all kind of maybe know a little bit of what I'm talking about. But everything else I did open them up. The final assembly, I did not open up. I just made sure that my seams were always opposing each other and locking in. So now I have my top and my bottom. Quickly run over here real quick and get that together. Here it is. So this is my top and bottom. I place it on here again to make sure that these corners are meeting right. So now I'm going to come in here, and if you could see, I just flipped this over. And now I'm gonna fudge some things here, because being that when I first made this, which is this is my, oh, that one worked. So I go ahead, I do pin at this point. You don't have to. Again, you do you. You do what makes you happy. If you watched Sean's live, he did a whole thing about pinning and gluing, and so you do you. Do whatever makes you happy. I come in. See, I come here, and many words for this, right? I call it interlock. Some people call it, what do they call it? Some people call it all different things. All right, so now we're going to come in and we are going to sew on this side and on this side, 1/4 inch, and your block will be done. So this pattern lends itself, I would say it lends itself to crumbs or strings or something like that, but when you see it, you'll see it's a little busy. But hey, who doesn't like a chaotic scrap quilt, right? It lends itself to panel pieces. If you have a panel piece that happens to be that size of a square, it lends itself if you have a couple of spare layer cakes laying around. You can trim it down to the size in the book. It doesn't have to be a 1-yard cut, right? The book is made for a 1-yard cut, but it doesn't have to be that. It really could be something out of the box. So here we go. And there's my block. I know I'm giving you dead air for a second. Here we go. Here is the block. The block is finished. So let's go to the design wall. And I am going to move my camera, just letting you know. And here is the one pattern that we had made together. There's a tutorial for this. Go ahead and go find it. It's called Splendor. This again lends itself to leftover layer case squares. It lends itself to scraps. It lends itself to a 1-yard cut. Crumbs? Yeah, sure. Why not? You can do crumbs with this. Yeah, you can always do crumbs. So I put the border on. This was my leftover after quilt of my daybreak quilt, and my daybreak quilt is all quilted. It is done. It is quilted. It is not bound. And I use the backing. It was part of my Ultimate Quilty Challenge. And this challenge is over. I done 2 quilts with this challenge from the box that was sent to me to challenge me on what can you make out of this box. I had some of this left over from the backing of this after I took it off the long arm, so I went ahead and used that as my borders. And then I pieced the back. Yep, I pieced the back, and the back that I pieced is right here, because this was the side piece I cut off when I went ahead and took that quilt off. There was a big chunk of side piece, so I cut that. I used that in this backing. I had a little bit of that black still, so I made a stripe so that it kind of goes with the stripe in here. And then I still had a giant piece of the border from the daybreak quilt. So this is going to be the backing of this quilt. Oh, you can't even really see it, could you? Well, here we go. This is going to be the backing of this quilt. So that is going to go on my long arm today. I had said this weekend is going to be a long arming weekend, and it sure is. Now, here we go. Voila, just like Julia Child's kitchen. Remember when she was cooking, she would have something already made and she'd pull it out of the oven. So I already started this quilt. I have been working on it. I just didn't do this last block, but I want to get this quilted also this weekend. So we're going to take this block, and this block is going to be set right in here like this. If you know these are opposing, see this is here, that's there. That's how we're going to set it. So how I'm going to do that is I am going to sew, see if this row isn't attached yet. I will sew a 1/4 inch there. And then I will sew this whole row to this. I will add a border, and then that's going to be long-armed. And so we're going to work on that today. That is what I'm working on. I want to remind everyone, I want to remind everyone that my 1,500 subscriber Pass It Forward, Go Bold, that will, today it ends, today. So not on this video, but on the video that is opening up a fabric swap and Pass It Forward video. That's the video you need to go to. Watch the replay and it'll let you know exactly what you need to do. So see you later. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Pass it forward. You know what? I'm going to add be kind. Yesterday, we were having some people who were not kind. And they weren't you guys. They were spammers, scammers, trolls. I don't know what they were. They weren't our normal group people. So be kind, be happy, take care of yourself. Let's see, subscribe, like, and share my channel. And have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.